how do you define leadership? What is leadership?
Well, one of I think the important parts of being a leader is having followers, and I think it's probably maybe it's the piece of the leadership equation that gets doesn't get emphasized enough. You can be the best problem solver in the world, and we have a lot of problem solvers. I don't think we're at a loss in the region for problem solvers. The question is, as you as a leader, how do you motivate those to follow you, or to give off your leadership presence such that folks are following other people, right? And then in that process, and this is I think the art of leadership, is being open to suggestions and change, and that takes some time to understand your leadership qualities, and we do that in Leadership Detroit. What is it that makes me tick as a leader, and understanding where you have blind spots, and so the best leaders really lead with that high level of confidence, but also a great understanding of their leadership qualities and where they need to surround themselves with other people. And at the end of the day, I mean, leadership is really measured by the number of folks that you've been able to, and the relationships you've been able to bridge. You've got to have followers.
That's a really interesting point, and that I hadn't looked at it that way before. So on that same note again, you're talking about somebody that can be very collaborative, very transparent. How does Leadership Detroit collaborate, both from the aspect that you have other leadership programs in the region, and how much is collaboration emphasized through the curriculum of Leadership Detroit?
Well, I think it first starts with the way we the trustees and myself run the program. Constantly open to evaluation, suggestion. We're meeting with if a member of the class says, I got to meet with you for breakfast, I got to sit down and talk to you and sort of go over what I just heard. We're there, so we wanna be open to that kind of change and that kind of response that's coming up. I think as far as we're beginning to, I think in the region, one of the tests of our program and other leadership programs in the region, I think one of the tests in the next few years is to really identify what we mean by regional leadership. We don't necessarily have a good model and role models to look to who can really deliver that. I think there's potential out there. There are people doing it. We have to be much more deliberate about understanding what, number one, constitutes regional leadership. What do we mean by that? And then how do we, back to this whole idea of followers, if in fact we do grow and expand this idea of regional leadership, who's going to follow? We've really suffered from not being able to identify what regional leadership looks like, and therefore the begging question is, well, who's following? We can't identify those leaderships. And I think in any conversation we have with somebody, you'll pick out one or two people and say, oh, they this, they that. But I think we have to get more consistency on what we mean by that.